to continue with the second keynote speaker. And then in this occasion, I would like to invite Dr. Bayu Krisnamurthi. Hello, Dr. Bayu.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, sorry, Dr. Bayu. There are some kind of problem in the technically. So I tried, we start late on the start. So ladies and gentlemen, today presentation Dr. Bayu Krisnamurthi. The title is Indonesia Business Moving Forward with Digital, New Female Entrepreneur Leading the Way. I'm sure that the content of the material is very interesting, relevant with the theme of the today seminar. But before Dr. Bayu presentation, allow me to read the CV of Dr. Bayu Krisnamurthi. Currently, Dr. Bayu Krisnamurthi as a President Commissioner PT RNI Holding Food State-Owned Enterprise 2021 until now, President Komisaris PT Perusahaan Gas Negara State-Owned Gas Company 2012 until 2015, Board Member and Green Fund Netherlands Investment Facilities for Agriculture and Sustainability 2017 until present, Senior Lecturer of the Department of Agribusiness (ABB) from 1988 until present, Deputy Ministry of Trade of Republic Indonesia from 2011 until 2014, Deputy Minister of Agriculture of the Republic of Indonesia from 2010 until 2011, Deputy Coordinating Minister for the Economic of the Republic of Indonesia from 2005 until 2010, President Director of the Oil Palm Plantation Fund Management Agency, Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, of the expert team, the Ministry of Trade of the Republic of Indonesia from 2021 until now, Chairperson of the Indonesia Agribusiness Association from 2019 until 2020, and also General Chairperson of the Indonesian Agriculture Economic Association from 2011 until 2017. Dr. Bayu, Doctor of Agriculture Economic, IPB, distinguished participant. When Dr. Bayu present, if you have any question, please, you can write down in the column chat. If the time is available, I will read it and ask to Dr. Bayu. Dr. Bayu, because your time is very busy, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Sri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to all of you. Thank you for the organizer for inviting me to be part of this very distinguished event. My presentations actually already sent it to the organizer, so if someone could assist me with, thank you very much. Yes, I probably would like just to focus on a few things that I would like to share with you this morning. Right.
Yeah.
So if we talk now in November 2021, it's like 1.5 years after COVID pandemic is struck all of us. I think the Indonesia businesses is now moving forward, especially with digital. I think that that's becoming a very instrumental, and we see a very, very interesting development, which is the leading of female entrepreneurs. New female entrepreneurs come to the picture and doing business and becoming more and more take a role and take a leading role in the businesses. Next, please. First, of course, we see that in Indonesia, the consumer, especially because we are in these organizations, we in this conference, the consumers is picking up the face because of looking at the situation of the COVID. There are probably 4 factors why the consumer confidence index is progressing. Consumer expectation index is also progressing. First, of course, the vaccination. Indonesia now surpass about 120 million people has been vaccinated at least once. So that is a very, very good news. There is also an digital applications, Peduli Lindungi, that been very instrumental in many aspects of the economic activities. And also intensifying the government monitoring the development of COVID, and it's been differentiated by district down to the villages, and now we can look at the website and see which area who are still on the level 1, level 2, level 4, level 3, level 4, which is the level 4 is the highest risk of COVID, and the level 1 is the lowest. And we can see that there are many becoming more and more, we call it a green area in Indonesia, and that's very good news because economic activities in that area can be reviving. And of course, the cases of COVID is going down. Of course, we cannot be complacent. We have to always be aware of the situations. There are always a threat and still a threat, especially, for example, from the Delta Plus variant and other variants, new variants. And we do hope in Indonesia that there is no new wave of COVID. Having saying that, next please. Having saying that, we see now that there are some changes. I think Mr. Amir Hamzah Karim also mentioned about this. There are some changes in consumer behavior and during the pandemic situations. About 56% of the respondents this is a survey with respondent around 10,000 household. They are saying that 56% of them saying that they are increasing their expenditure, increasing their spending. And I think that's very interesting. Even though they are staying at home, their expenditure is increasing. And only 70% who say that their expenditure is decreasing. And a quite significant amount of that household, 44%, saying that the increasing of the expenditure is more than 20%. So it's really serious things that need to be considered. The structure of household expenditure is, changed a little bit. Of course, even before COVID, the expenditure for food and other convenience product is still the highest, but there's changes in health expenditure and as well as digital expenditure. Now becoming the digital expenditure is becoming about 40%. Is the data that they have to buy. Next, please. Next, please. Oh, this is a very interesting. This is a very interesting survey done by DBS. What is they go more detail on how COVID changed Indonesia consumption basket. As I said earlier, health and hygiene is becoming more in the priority of the consumers, of the household. Of course, it creates business implications, and preventive healthcare becoming more and more popular and more on demand. As you know, probably many part of as well as many part of the world, before COVID, people tend to go to the doctor or to the hospital or to the health facilities if they are sick, if they are ill. But now the consumers are put more of their money to a preventive healthcare, and I think that is a good things in the sense that's becoming more aware about the concern of health. The second is about meal preference, shifting from dining out to eating in. Eating in means eat at home. They can still eat a gourmet, a high class or high top, for example, food from the Michelin star restaurant, but they put it on the packaged food. So the businesses need to focus on healthy, easy, and preparing meals, and that can they deliver it at home. And there is already a business in Jakarta and maybe one or two big cities in Indonesia that this meal, this food, is also accompanied by a kind of luxury services. So if you would like to have a candlelight dinner at home, then the restaurant could provide with all of the utilities, all the fancy things that put the environments and the nuance at home exactly, or try to copy if you have that dinner at the restaurant. So that is, I think, new development have a big business implication. Shopping location is shifting to online, basically, and e-commerce over bricks and mortar retail, even though after the Peduli Lindungi, the digital monitoring system for COVID has been introduced, and after the vaccinations, now you can see in Jakarta, the mall is getting back again. The consumer is back again to the mall and pusat belanja, to the markets, and even though the e-commerce itself has been growing, very significantly. Household now try to have a more on grocery shopping, rise in online grocery applications. Grocery means maybe previously they can just buy one or two things, but now they change their behavior and buy all of that groceries in one time. The reason is the delivery costs, ongkos kirim. Because one items of product, the ongkos kirim or the delivery cost is to some extent, it's not much different than you buy many things. So to put on the efficiency instinct of the household, they would like to buy grocery shopping, and application for that is been becoming very popular. And of course, they now, the consumers and the household very much enjoy home and leisure, and home becoming the place of entertainment. We see the Netflix, the Disney, and all of that. And we probably in Malaysia as well, we experienced that the Fox group is pulled out from Southeast Asia, and now they are planning to have their own home entertainment website and home entertainment application, so they could reach the consumers directly. So this is a quite interesting changes in the consumer behavior, and I think we need to monitor this, and we need to keep an eye on this and see how it goes. Next, please. Yes, basically the new normal is we need digitalizations. Now, this is it's probably digitalization becoming a necessary now, a necessity for many. But we have to also put a notice that there's also a problem of internet discrimination. Why? Because there is at least in Indonesia, there is still some blank spot, or there are still some area who doesn't have good internet. And not because of they are not willing to buy or doesn't have any purchasing power on that, but because of the lack of the internet, they becoming kind of left out. And that is also a problem that we face in educations when we did with online education services. Our students has been facing with problem, not only the student, but we as a lecturer is also facing the problem of the quality of the internet. But having saying that, digitalization is a must and it will stay. And I think even though the COVID has been managed, I think we will still see the strong impact of digital facilities and digital infrastructure in our life. Next, please. Now, looking at the digital economy in Indonesia, I think in Indonesia right now, 2020, the digital economy is only about 4% of our GDP, but the projection is tremendous, is gigantic. By 2030, the Indonesian Central Bank has been calculated that digital economy will contribute about 18% of the GDP. It's about 4.5 thousand trillion rupiah. Yeah? So that is a very, very big number and have a very significant impact to the economy as a whole. Next, please. And out of that digital economy, we will, at least in projection of the 2020 to 2030, e-commerce will still dominate the part of the digital economy. We see that, of course, traveling, online travel, online booking will have a quite significant number. B2B, business to business services is also have a huge values. The corporate services, digital content and health, and of course, ride hailing and so forth, Gojek and everything, they will have the significant part of the digital economy of Indonesia, but e-commerce will still becoming the dominant factors of our digital economy. E-commerce means there is a trading, there is a commerce, there is an activities of buying and selling, and that means also economic and business activities. Next, please. Yeah. The gross merchandise values by trillion rupiah, the e-commerce has gonna take off with huge amount of money. Online travel is also, as I said, becoming quite significant. Online media, Netflix, YouTube, and so forth, and ride hailing. I think this is a kind of structures of portfolio of the Indonesian's digital economy, and we will see. Of course, there is a note on this. All of this is very much depend on the breakthrough of the technology. As you said, for example, when Indonesia, the Gojek intervention or the Gojek innovation in Indonesia, or the Tokopedia innovation or Traveloka innovations is creating new demand and creating new business opportunity. But the core basic of it is actually technology innovation. So this projection is have not include if, for example, within the time of projections, there will be new breakthrough in some of the digital technology. Next, please. Looking at the ASEAN level, I think Indonesia now maybe is among the biggest, not among the biggest, is the biggest digital economy in the area by GMV values, and will be the biggest in 2030. But looking at the charts on the bottom, you will see that as per capita expenditure, Singapore is still bigger than other countries of ASEAN. The reason is probably because the number of the populations. But looking at this, the potential of some of my colleagues is arguing that the number that we come out with the previous slides is actually under account, or we can say probably the number will be bigger than that calculations. Next, please. Now, having saying looking at the digital businesses like that, the potential and the prospect, that the bright prospect of digital economy, we now would like to see a more down close to the role of female women. Until 2020, actually, it's been a common knowledge in Indonesia and has been supported by many data and research that in terms of consumption, female consumption or women consumption is actually very dominant. And 55% e-commerce transactions is done by female consumers. And female consumers has there's a 26 times transaction on the average, compared to men, male, only 14 times. So the driver of this digital economy, and especially in e-commerce, is actually women. Yeah? But that is in the consumption side. Now we'll see within the last 2 years, next please, we'll see that even though in the supply side, yeah, even though it's still small, but there are some significant growth among female entrepreneurs, almost triple compared to the last year. This is a study done by the World Bank Indonesia and SOPI. The data is on 2017-2020, but the report is come in 2021. The female entrepreneur, especially related with digital, is growing by 7.5%, while the male is only growing by 2.7%. Now, this is very interesting, and one of the conclusion of this research saying that digital economy is empowered women. Next, please. Looking more detail on the result of the research, digital merchant were almost even gender split, learning to female by 56% on female by in terms of digital merchant. Yeah. It's actually because 56% compared to 44 in the political arena. This is already quite big, but in the commerce, I can still say that within the merchant in the e-commerce is leaning toward women. And this is contrast actually in terms of labor force. In Indonesia, in the labor force, male is about 61% and female is about 39%. So in terms of working, probably is still dominated by male, but in terms of entrepreneurship, commerce is now becoming more and more dominated by female. Next, please. Female merchants are also younger than male. I think this is very interesting because if you're looking at the futures, future mean near futures, like 5 years from now or 10 years from now, we will see more and more female entrepreneur, female businesses or female-owned businesses will provide us with what things that we need. And again, in labor force, male is appears slightly younger. So this is a very interesting situation, and of course have a very specific consequences probably for businesses that support other businesses like financing, information, technology, and so forth. We need to look on how female make a decision within their own companies. Next, please. Merchants on the platform are more educated. This is also very interesting point that they need to give and put out in our discussions, that now they becoming a businesses, becoming a merchants, selling things. It's not because they're, you know, it's not becoming a kind of inferior choices, but becoming more and more the first choices, because the merchants put their product in the platform in an e-commerce is more educated. Then it is also very interesting. I think it's happening in many universities in Indonesia, that female now becoming more dominant in terms of, for example, academic excellence and so forth, related to their educations. So female merchants are more educated than male merchants on the platform. Next, please. A quarter of female merchants are homemaker. Now, again, we can see and look at this number that e-commerce and a digital economy is democratize our businesses. It's becoming more egalitarian. It's becoming more inclusive. And there are many new small businesses has been emerged through the pandemic era and using the digital facilities. Using the National Social Economic Survey, 38% of female e-commerce entrepreneurs are homemaker. Next, yeah, next please. Next. Female merchant had fewer dependent compared to male merchant. This is also very interesting. Need further study related to the house economics of the female entrepreneur, because they seems like becoming more and more independent female, single moms and everything, that, you know, doing business using the digital economy. Next, please. Uh, 60% of female merchants use e-commerce as source of supplementary income in their household. This is still, again, this is a point that I think very important to put on the context, that even though the female merchants and female entrepreneur is increasing, but I think they are still, this is not their main source of income. They are trying to juggle in many way of that they could within the economics difficulties that we all face in the pandemic situations. But again, this is still early, and we need to monitor this, and we need to look at this, do some more research to understand it, because again, this is not only about the consumer and the producers, but within the business ecosystem itself, the financing, the supplier of the product and so forth, need to understand the new development that happening in Indonesia, especially through the role of digital economy. Next, please. So this is my last slide. COVID will become an endemic threat, of course, but also creating challenges and opportunity for all of us, especially for the businesses. Digitalization will remain and also will develop further in the futures. I think we will be becoming more and more dependent on digital facilities and digital activities. But very interesting new development that the female entrepreneur and consumers will lead the way, and we will see this will impact on the on the economic as general, but especially businesses that related with the digital ecosystem and businesses that related with all of the activities that this entrepreneur in e-commerce and other digital economy provide. But I have also to put on notes that the changes is and will continue. I think we are not seeing the end of it yet. This is a very dynamic market, also in a very dynamic period of time. We are still now recovering from crisis, from the recessions, and that's create innovations, creativity, and so forth. So it's going to be very excited to looking forward, and hopefully we could fulfill and try to ride the wave of change together and prosperous together. Mr. Moderator, ladies and gentlemen, this is my presentations. I would like to apologize that I have to go because I have other engagements and that I cannot leave. So probably I apologize if I could not entertain you with Q&A session. Pak Sri Hartono, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.